Let's talk about AI for a sec. Kind of start talking about it a little bit, but where do you
Sure.
feel like it's shaping your industry and how are you leveraging it?
For us, we don't use a ton of AI yet. Where we're exploring it is what we would like to do is we're trying to change our customer service representative traditional position. And those are the ladies who answer the phone when someone calls, schedule the job, order the part, all that stuff. We're transitioning those. We're doing something that no one has ever tried. We don't have customer service representatives anymore. We have inside sales representatives. And so we've hired a totally different breed of people because, as you know, customer service representatives, they have to be very detail oriented. They have to check all the boxes. Everything has to be perfect. And your sales sort of personality is a little bit different personality. It's a little bit freer. And so what we would like to have and what we've began exploring is we would love to have it where the representative answered the phone. They hear a human voice. They get treated well. The inside sales rep gets an opportunity to sell them. And then they say, hey, we appreciate everything. We're going to pass you on now to whatever that's going to collect all of the information, schedule the appointment for you. If you have any trouble or you can't get it to work or whatever, because we're going to have that, dude. We got people out here that still have flip phones that aren't smart in Kentucky. Then give us a call back and we can do it all for you. But this is the way. So we would love to have, hey, we capture the job. We get all the information that we need to have just to capture the job. And then you really pass all the details and all the things that involve more human error on to the next bot.
What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by Exitwise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what Exitwise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Big Hitters Podcast. I'm joined by Mike Humston, who is a friend of mine from Rise Up Kings. Mike is in a completely different industry than anybody we've had on the show. He does auto glass, which I'm sure secretly is extremely, productive and is a good living, although I don't know anything about it. So I'm excited to hear more about his experience. Mike, just tell us a little bit of your story, man. How'd you wind up having now, congratulations, 4 different locations for your auto glass company?
Sure. Yeah. So my dad was a glass guy. And so he owned a company when I was small. As a kid, it's all he ever did that I can remember is auto glass. He was actually the first guy to do it in someone's driveway in Kentucky. He was like the first guy doing mobile auto glass installation. And so I remember riding around with him when I was a kid and said I would never do glass. I just didn't want to be a glass guy. And turns out here I am. So.
I had a similar experience with my dad in financial services, and I wound up getting my securities license, so that didn't go very well for me either. This episode is brought to you by Pierre Tax and Accounting, led by CPA Eric Pierre, a seasoned accounting and tax expert with years of experience helping individuals and businesses navigate complex financial landscapes. Whether you need personal tax planning, business tax strategy, bookkeeping, or financial planning support, Eric and his team are committed to helping you protect and grow your financial future with clarity and confidence. To get expert guidance you can trust, check out Pierre Tax and Accounting at pierreaccounting.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. Well, so tell us, I don't even know where to begin. What goes into owning an auto glass repair company?
Auto glass replacement and repair. So, man, for me, I got started. My dad and I my dad and I, my dad closed, his shop closed. Him and I've got a pretty extensive past. And the auto glass business, essentially, you need committed people. You need glass distribution centers nearby. Ours in Kentucky, so we get serviced out of Ohio. Um, I think I think some of the biggest differences for my company versus the other companies is we have a production pay plan for our techs. We don't pay them by the hour. So if
Mm.
you want to come in and bust your butt, you can make all kinds of money. A lot of people think the glass we make it, or like we keep the glass for your vehicle at our store. We don't. We order it. It gets delivered twice a day from Ohio, from Cincinnati or Columbus. They bring it to us. That's something that a lot of people don't know. What do you mean you don't have it? Something else people don't
Mhm.
know is if you drive a 2024 or a 2025, there is five or more. With a Jeep, there could be about 25 different windshields that could potentially fit your vehicle. It's not as
Mm.
simple as just, oh, yeah, it's a Jeep Compass. There's only one for it. No, there's about 26 for it with all kinds of different crazy features that keep you in the lane or slow your car down before you rear end
Yeah.
someone or, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I drive a Tesla, and I know that anytime that thing gets cracked, it's not just replace the windshield; it's got to be like recalibrated and all that stuff to
Yes, sir.
make sure the
Yeah.
full self driving works. Which I want to work because sometimes I do put on the driving, and it'd be nice to not die when that happens. So I totally get how important that can be. What
Yeah.
is your, I guess, what's your favorite thing about the industry, and then what's like your least favorite thing about it?
Favorite thing about the industry. I'm going to say my favorite thing about the industry is there's not a lot of legislation. So
Mm.
your typical guy that can replace a windshield should not be in charge of recalibrating the safety features on your vehicle, but they are. There is
Mm.
no major standard like a collision center. There's like an ICAR standard. There's no major standard that everyone has to abide by. And so it's still kind
Mm.
of the wild, wild west. There's still some negotiating that we're able to do with insurance companies. Um, there's still room there to have an idea and jump on it and exploit it and create something new that no one's thought about yet and wait for the industry to catch up with you. It gives guys like me a chance to start a business. Just one guy in a pickup truck with a credit card, you can get started if you know what you're doing. So I
Mm.
think the least favorite thing for me, auto glass wise, I'm sorry about that. Auto glass wise, the least favorite thing is going to be working out in the cold. Is going different places, dealing with different situations. We go to some nasty places sometimes, and everything wants to break when it's
Yeah.
cold. So
Yeah.
that's probably the worst part, the
Well,
conditions.
that's got to be. And speaking of which, before we hopped on, we were talking about the weather. And for those listening, we're recording this in, mid to late January, and there's about to be some record snowfall in the southeast and in different parts of the East Coast. So that's both good for business, but it also sounds like it's probably tough working conditions for you and your crews.
That's exactly right. It'll halt for a while. Glass vendors won't
Yeah.
bring glass. We do some crazy stuff though, like I said. So we got all our four-wheel drive vehicles sitting in Lexington right now, empty. And as soon as the glass warehouses dig out and get open, they won't risk their lives to deliver glass, but we will be on our way to Cincinnati and Columbus to pick it up. So we'll get out in front
Mhm.
of every other glass company around here because they're going to sit and wait for things to come to them, and we're going to step on the gas and get it going.
This episode is brought to you by 10x Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10x Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker: they only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rutkowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rutkowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rutkowskilawfirm.com. Okay, tell me if I'm overstepping any bounds here, but you have 4 locations. What does a location like gross? Is this like a multi-million dollar location? Is it doing 500-600 grand a year? Like I have no idea what the numbers are for these types of businesses.
So last year we only had 3 locations. We got 2 that are in rural parts of Kentucky. Those stores are easier in some aspects, but harder in others. So it's easy to service the insurance agents out there, but it's really
Yeah,
hard to get the dealerships, and some of the population take longer to win over because in the rural counties, there's still loyalty.
yeah,
That doesn't exist in the bigger city like Lexington. And so those in those counties, it's like, no, we've been using Scott's glass since we knew Scott's dad since
yeah.
1985, and we don't care how fast you are or how well you service us. We're never calling anyone but Scott. But so those locations are smaller. Last year, between those 3 locations, we did 5.8 million. So it's a pretty extensive business. It is a lot of logistics, a whole lot of communication. You know, you're talking about there's 18 vans and trucks driving at all times all across the state of Kentucky to meet people where they are, and then you've got to figure out ways to do mobile deposits for all those different techs, and what do you do with the cash? Because yes, we still take it. It's Kentucky, people still have it, and so what do you do with the cash? And so obviously Lexington, where the bigger population is our biggest store. That's where we got started. That's where I'm from. And the 2 other stores, they just kind of support that store. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's lucrative, but you got to hustle. If you lay back and wait for it to come to you, it's not happening.
Yeah. What is your how do you acquire clients? Is it all online? Is it referrals? Is there a mix of both?
When I got started, it was me and the relationships that I built just installing glass for all the years that I did. That's what we
Yeah.
started with. The way we operate now, we do a lot of Google marketing. We capture as a company 60 to 80,000 in sales a month from our Google ads, just from people who find us on the web. We do also
Mhm.
have outside sales representatives. And so those guys are the ones that go out and they build relationships with insurance agents, with service department managers at car dealerships, with people at body shops, with fleets like your utility companies. We want those fleets too. We do. They go out and build relationships with maintenance directors at big trucking companies, and they build relationship. We have our technicians who build relationship and bring accounts, and then we have our cash work that finds us online and from our signage and radio ads and things like that. It's a little bit of everything, but when you first start, man, when I first started, it's just a business card and word of mouth, and you kind
Mhm.
of go from there. I started this thing in 2012 working for another person, opening a business for him, and he wanted to sell it, and that's when I left in 2020 in the height of COVID. I left. I took 2 people, but I started, and he said, "I don't know anything about it. Here's a credit card and a pickup truck." And so I'm ordering all the glass. I'm making all the sales stops. I'm installing all the glass. I'm doing all the billing. I'm doing all the deposits. I did
Mhm.
everything. And then
Mhm.
you bring someone on. I grew that to about 16 employees total between 2012 and 2020, and then 2020 we opened up. And I took my core group of customers that I had developed there and started here with 3 of us. And today we got 33 people over the last 5 years. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's kind of the story of how it started. There's a story prior to that that's really interesting, but it doesn't have much to do with business. Um, but there's a lot in between those years. That's kind of how it kicked off. So it's a little bit of everything.
Mike, what do you feel like your greatest need is as a company right now? Like, where do you feel like there's either a barrier you're trying to overcome or something that's just not going as well as you want it to?
The barrier we try to overcome is SafeLight, man. So SafeLight started their own third-party glass claims administrating company, and they administrate claims for almost all the big insurance companies you can think of: State Farm, Allstate, Progressive, Farmers, Geico, all of them. And so, in order to get business, once we capture the business, we have to bill it through the SafeLight Glass network. Um, and so these agents don't want to send us work because SafeLight makes it so easy. Most people, when it was relational, when I started, when Dad started, you people called their agent when they broke their glass. We don't do that anymore, right? We get online, we report our claim online, or maybe we'll call the phone number on the back of the manual insurance card, but we never call our agent. And so the way they have it set up now, if you call the number on the back of your phone line, or if you file your claim online, companies like mine don't get a chance at it. It goes directly to SafeLight, and you're talking to a representative there. So what the local companies like mine are doing, they're in a battle right now. They're making it transactional. They're going to the insurance companies and they're meeting with these agents and they're telling them, I'll give you a $25 to $50 gift card for every glass claim that you send me. And we don't get into that. What their job is to take the best care of their client that they possibly can. And it's so funny because these agents, they use it now as like a form of payment for their employees so they can pay them less and wait for the glass companies to pay them with gift cards at the end of the month. But then if their daughter or their son or their self needs a glass, you'd never guess who they call. And so it's a hard pill to swallow when you're trying to build relationships with people who know that you are the best option, but continue to send their customers to the one that'll pay them the most. And so we battling that off, and the relational side of business is going away. And so for us, it's transitioning into how do we capture work and continue to grow at the rate that we've been growing without the relationships, because that's the only way I know to do it, right? I'm 47 years old. It's always been relational. And so for us, it's more billboards. We got a lot into television ads. We figured, hey, if we market directly to the consumer and they call us, because they know the name, they saw it at the basketball game, they heard it on the radio, and they saw it on TV, then when they Google, if we're at the top and we say, hey, don't call your insurance company first, call us first. And so we've actually lowered the number of outside sales representatives that we have, and just begin to market directly to the consumer to get around that SafeLight network and to get around that gift carding and kickback deal that the other glass companies are trying to use.
Are you getting anything from Facebook ads out of curiosity?
We do. We use Facebook. I did our own Facebook for, I don't know, up until last year, and then 2 years ago, and then I handed it off to someone. And then we found a real social marketing lady who's involved with the University of Kentucky. So we met her there. We got involved with Club Blue, which is the University of Kentucky's NIL program. And that's where we ran into her. And so we handed it off to her, and we do get some things from there, but we don't get a ton from it.
Yeah. And then what about getting your business featured on ChatGPT? Have you looked into that at all?
Don't know how to get it featured. She is looking into that. I asked her to, but I do know no matter where you're at in Kentucky, whatever you type into ChatGPT around windshield replacement, we're popping up first.
Sweet. Love that. Let's talk about AI for a sec. Kind of started talking about it a little bit, but where do you feel like it's shaping your industry and how are you leveraging it?
For us, we don't use a ton of AI yet. Where we're exploring it is, what we would like to do is we're trying to change our customer service representative traditional position. And those are the ladies who answer the phone when someone calls, schedule the job, order the part, all that stuff. We're transitioning those. We're doing something that no one has ever tried. We don't have customer service representatives anymore. We have inside sales representatives. And so we've hired a totally different breed of people because, as you know, customer service representatives, they have to be very detail oriented. They have to check all the boxes. Everything has to be perfect. And your sales sort of personality is a little bit different personality. It's a little bit freer. And so what we would like to have and what we've began exploring is we would love to have it where the representative answered the phone. They hear a human voice. They get treated well. The inside sales rep gets an opportunity to sell them. And then they say, hey, we appreciate everything. We're going to pass you on now to whatever that's going to collect all of the information, schedule the appointment for you. If you have any trouble, or you can't get it to work or whatever, because we're going to have that, dude. We got people out here that still have flip phones that aren't smart in Kentucky. Then give us a call back and we can do it all for you. But this is the way. So we would love to have, hey, we capture the job. We get all the information that we need to have just to capture the job. And then you really pass all the details and all the things that involve more human error on to the next bot.
Yeah.
That's where we're thinking it could be helpful.
Last thing we haven't talked about, so we know each other through Rise Up Kings. I always try to get like a little soundbite from them. So tell me how it's impacted your life, ministry, business, family, all the things.
Man, so Rise Up Kings, I went there just wanting to get, it's right when I left that dealership, and it was just me on my own. I realized like, hey, you don't have men above you pouring into your life right now. And so of course their Facebook ads, they're blowing me up like they did you, I'm sure. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, let me check this out. I need to make some more connections and be around some higher level men. And so that's what I went for. And I left there realizing I didn't know it till I got home, but I was probably 2 weeks away from going through a divorce. I had no idea that my wife was that disappointed or unhappy with me. So for me, where it showed up is it's shown me how to be a disciplined man. Allowed me to be able to focus on things intentionally. It's allowed me to realize how I show up in my marriage, become a present dad. I'm involved also with King's Forge. I don't know if heard of King's
Yeah.
Forge yet.
I was just talking to a guy in Ohio today, and Marion Miller was my mentor coming out of Ruck, and
Awesome.
he also is a client. He got a virtual assistant with us, so I love that guy.
Awesome. Yeah. So he has me come up and coach some of their events from time to time. I've been down to volunteer 7 times, been through Forge, and yeah, it's really been instrumental
Is
in
it
what I
down
do.
for you? Is it literally down? Or are you down going south to go to King's Forge?
Yeah, north. Ohio's a little bit north.
North. Okay. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is my geography that bad? Is Kentucky above?
I keep saying down there, up there. I go up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, is there anything that we haven't talked about today that gets you fired up?
Man, I'll tell you what I'm really called to do, and I enjoy coaching, but what I'm really called to do is I'm a ministry leader at Celebrate Recovery. And that's another thing Rise Up Kings brought back into my life. I left during COVID, my ministry of 10 years at the church that we were at. And it was on a forum trip that I had some guys, as we were talking and sharing a little bit about ourselves and getting to know each other, say, challenge me to get back into Celebrate Recovery. And so Celebrate Recovery is a Christ-centered 12-step program. It's not for just drug addicts and alcoholics. It's like everyone needs recovery from something. And we believe Christ and the 12 steps can help you with no matter what it is, whether it's stress, whether it's overeating, whether it's food addiction, whether it's pornography addiction, whether it's whatever. And so that's really where my heart is, man. And so the whole time I was at Rise Up Kings, it literally is sneaky version of recovery for Christian businessmen. Every single thing they do is around finding defaults in your life, getting engaged with God, who's the one that can remove those character defects so that you can show up the best version of yourself possible. And so the way those two connect was really interesting. So other than that, man, that's kind of what my life consists of, man, loving on my family, helping others achieve the same freedom that I found through recovery, and then business last,
I love that. Well, Mike, thanks for coming on the podcast. Where can people go if they want to learn a little bit more about your business and what you do?
RightWayAutoglass.com. Best place to find us. And it's RITE, not RIGHT.
Well, if you're in the Kentucky or Ohio area and you need a new windshield or glass of any sort, please contact Mike and his team. They will take good care of you.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the pod. Don't go anywhere. I want to keep talking, but thanks for coming on the show.
Gotcha. Thanks.